Hello, everyone, and welcome to Engineered to Ask, brought to you by the College of Engineering here at the University of Nevada, Reno. This is your host, Anthony Kuhl, and with me today is Dr. Hao Xu, one of our associate professors here in our Electrical and Biomedical Engineering department. Doctor, how are you doing today?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. That's great to hear. So we are going to dive into the technology of self-driving vehicles, and Dr. Xu is going to help us better understand what's really going on with this rapidly growing industry. Before we get into our main topic today, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what brought you to engineering in the first place?
Absolutely. As you already introduced everybody, my name is Hao. Actually, I was born in China, and it's a very interesting time when I was going to the college. At that time, it's getting into the information revolution in the whole world. Mm-hmm. So I never saw like the Apple iPhone or some smartphone, which we have every day at that time. But we do have some new generation of the cell phones, and people can talk anytime and can do it wirelessly. So that amazing products attract my interest when I go into the college. So I'm just wondering, how could that happen, especially people just talking to a weird box and the friends far away can hear clearly. And if everybody talking in the same place on the same time, the signals never going to be interrupt each other, and still the friends far away can receive the message they want with no interruptions. So I'm just wondering, how could that happen? How anybody can explain to me that technology can make it work? And that actually the first thought and let me go to pursue the engineering, because I'm talking with the faculties in the university in different departments, just to have the same question to them is, how could that happen? And only one faculty told me is like, if you want to do that, you want to figure out a why, maybe engineering will be the right college for you to study.
That's fascinating. So the idea of like just that interconnected web that we created of networks and everything, and the way we were able to keep that all straight, which, I mean, I don't even understand how that works entirely, but...
Yeah, it's, even for now, I'm kind of still amazed because we have like a lot of data has been transmitted. Even now, when we talk to each other, there's a lot of signal, we cannot see it, but it's around us. If somebody make a phone call outside of the rooms, the signal is going to be passing through everywhere. But how could that signal coming out of from the first floor, like in the laboratory, which we can see, quite isolate, going outdoor and going to far, far away?
Exactly. That's amazing. So then moving into our main topic of discussion for today, what's your current opinion on the state of things when it comes to self-driving vehicles? Now, I know, that's a field that's a lot of people are really interested in right now. Do you happen to know of any like recent breakthroughs, or is there anything that like you think is really exciting in that field?
Yeah, that is interesting technology. It actually has very nice history. I have been watching that technology since it started introduced to the public, and it's never be very smoothly. It's up and down. First time when people say, well, the car can drive by themselves, is a crazy idea, and from engineer we know it's possible because. And even the airplane has been doing the autopilot for long we thought. So which means it's definitely doable. But when people introduce to let machine or let the car drive by themselves, people think you guys will be crazy. It's impossible. Never gonna put my life to the car. I'm gonna drive by myself. So then the companies or some inventors prove to people it's possible. It demonstrates, and it do showing the feasibilities. And then people can try to, that's good. I really want to enjoy my drive, but I don't want to drive for so long, especially if we're doing like road trip, right? Sometimes I feel tired. I cannot sleep because I'm driving the highway. There's no place to stop, so I'm just actually kind of like in a very awkward situation. And then if the car can drive by themselves even for half hour, that would be good. So that's why technology attracts attention very quickly. And then when people try to adopt it, there's a lot of accident happens. That make the public has huge concern about this technology. I do, even myself, I do have the concern about that. Then it's going to like pretty hit the bottoms. People try to say stop it. Maybe it's not the right way to go. And then it's actually becomes a technology people don't think it's going to be applied in short terms. It will be waited for such a long time. But recently, thanks to Tesla, and also there's another company called Waymo, which is actually a company belongs to the Google.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about them.
So yeah, they actually try to push this thing to happen. But they're changing their strategy. They make it very smartly. They actually put some autonomous driving cars into the city with very restrict areas. So to let the car try to drive under very strong monitoring things, or it has a lot of regulation to limit their driving areas to make the technology can be tested under certain monitorings. And then when they got more real-time operation data, and they can effectively improve the technology to make the autonomous driving really moving to the feasible technology in very quick pace. So I think that is actually what I can say is kind of like the latest breakthrough. And I'm surprised it's even from the government or from the regulations agency. They're quite nice to them now. So they give a lot of waivers. They give them certain rights or certain place to try. That's very critical. Without that permissions, this technology will not going further. Things now, a lot of, not a federal, but state and city give this certain rights to let autonomous driving hit on the road. And then the company will have more real-time operation data to help them to improve their technology. That's going to pave the way for real-time implementations. So the Tesla has some plan to doing they call a robot taxi in Austin, Texas. And Waymo has already implemented their autonomous driving car along with Uber in San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Phoenix. So if you guys has any chance, go visit the San Francisco downtown or Los Angeles or Phoenix. You will see some weird car has a camera on top, and you can also download an Uber app with autonomous driving cars. You can call for autonomous Uber and help you to commute to any place you want if they're allowed to. And then you will give a first person feeling about this technology. From my observation, it's quite smooth now. Long time ago, when I saw autonomous driving, they always put a pilot, or we call it driver, sitting on the seat. They don't touch the wheels, but they always get ready to hit the red button, which is stop button. And now, if you take that autonomous Uber driving cars, nobody's sitting there. So when the car arrived, you open the door, there's nobody. And you talk to the computer, they're going to say where you're going to go. You tell the place you go, they drive automatically. And they're driving like a human driver. They're not like suddenly stop and it's moving very smoothly. Well, you can compare with, which maybe you already know on campus, we have a food delivery bots. So it's around the campus, right? So you can try it out. Sometimes they'll react very non-smoothly. Like if somebody passing through in front of that, the robots will stop and wait quite a long time, then move forward. It's not going to happen in the autonomous driving. They can stop and moving very smoothly. It's like human driver.
Exactly. And I think that's so interesting with the self-driving vehicles is like in an isolated situation, if all the vehicles were self-driving, I feel like that would be so much easier to set up. But because they have to account for all the other human drivers, and like in the case with the food delivery robots that we have on campus, they have to account for all the human foot traffic going back and forth. But to hear that the cars have made such a leap in their programming or the calculations that need to be done to account for where everyone is going and their driving speeds and everything, that's fascinating.
Yeah, exactly. I'm actually quite impressed when I saw the Waymo's cars on the road, and I could not believe it's driving really like human drivers. So I think that is actually, they take the advantage about not only the autonomous driving technology from the control aspect, also from computing, sensor, everything has going fast. Then all the technology get ready for the autonomous transportation becomes more feasible than maybe 10 years ago. So it's actually ready to go.
Wow. That's incredible. After that, Doctor, well, it certainly gives our listeners something to think about. I have to ask, Doctor, what are you currently pursuing here in the College of Engineering?
Yeah, we're doing still the same thing, not like autonomous cars, but similar as that as the robots. So our work direction is pretty much try to implement applicable AI into the robots. So it actually has been discussed in long terms. People are working on the AR and machine learning. People are working on the robotics. These two areas are quite impressive areas. And people has been talked to long terms. They want to mix them together. But once they mix them together, there's a lot of challenge. Obvious, if you put these two technologies together, it will be amazing because you can bring the intelligence to the robots. But it has a lot of question over there. It's about, that intelligence will also make sure the robot's gonna do the basic job. It's gonna be trustable. It's gonna be reliable. Or you never know, that intelligence may lead the robot doing some bad things. So all this concern has a reason. So then people are very hesitant to implement it. And our goal is try to redevelop or maybe to further develop applicable AI and machine learning into the robots. Not only just improve their intelligence, but also better explain to the users and why this technology gonna bring the intelligence and it's not gonna hurting anybody. It's gonna make the robots doing better job. That what we are doing now.
I think being able to improve our AI capabilities like that in order to weed out potential errors or even help explain to people and get rid of the human error that would be present in that sort of technology, I think that's perfect. That's exactly what we need right now.
Yeah.
Moving from there, if a future student is interested in getting involved with this kind of work, what kind of knowledge should they be seeking and what kind of classes should they be taking?
Well, I can say, of course, the programming you have to know because that is everywhere. Every technology are based on certain programming because that is the language robots understand or the machine understand. Second is the hardwares. This part somehow is lacking because majority work has been done in the programming, and people are getting used to apply to the practical platform. But actually, the really cool invention is not only coming from software, it's also coming from the hardwares. So sometimes the hardware will limit the capability of the softwares. So that's why if you want to really push the technology going forward faster and more than you thought, it's better you have both. And that is pretty much the skills you need to get it to make sure you can do excellent job when you go into that areas. But there's another thing also people maybe overlook at it. It's the foundations. So all the technology or all the coding, hardware is based on the certain theoretic foundations. Physics, math, chemistries, all this basic knowledge looks irrelevant, but they are the key for let people truly explain why the technology is going to work. So that need to be also well studied and well to be digested. Then it can push you going to the next
Thank you
level,
so much for
sure.
coming on the podcast today, Doctor.
Thank you, everybody, and thank you for having me here.
And thank you to everyone who's listening out there. We greatly appreciate you stopping by. If you'd like to know more about how you can get involved with this sort of research and more here at the University of Nevada, Reno, you can visit our website. Links will be in the description below. And if you'd like to hear about other interesting engineering-related topics, please like, comment, and subscribe. It's the easiest way of keeping up with the series and letting us know that we're doing a good job. Until then, this has been Engineered to Ask.